All praises to the Most High God. Welcome back to the Snipeathon weekly update. This is week number 23. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the results from last week. So last week, I took a trade at the beginning of the week. As soon as the market opened up on Sunday, I seen a sell opportunity, and I placed a couple positions, and I got stopped out right at the stop loss, and it turned around and went in my direction. So after that happened, I kind of just sat back and played the field and just watched the market for the rest of the week. So started the week with an account balance of $5,009.60. Ended the week with $4,974.75. Zero wins, zero win percent or win rate. There are no open trades currently running, and so there's no open profit or loss. And the net loss so far has been $26.25. We're still going back and forth, still consolidating with the account balance. So the notes for the week, or the notes from last week, is open trading options again. And what I mean by that when I say open trading options again, if you guys remember, if you've been following this from the first week, I was trading GU and also EU, and I took GU off the off the plate, and or I took it off the table, and I just focused on EU, and I'm ready to bring GU back into play to have more options, because EU has been consolidating, and it's caused me to not be as active on the charts as I would like to be. And so I want to open my options back up. And so I'm going to be trading multiple pairs again. All right, so those are the notes from last week. And then this week's focus is the EU interest rate decision. That's really the only thing I'm paying attention to this week, is that. And so we'll actually get into that right now. We'll go and check out the news for the upcoming week, and then we'll get into looking at the charts. Okay, so like I said, this week, the only thing I'm really paying attention to is the interest rate decision for the euro, and that's going to take place on Thursday at 8:15 in the morning. So that's going to be around the time of the New York Open, and that is a red folder news. And anything or any time there's news concerning interest rate decisions, I'm always on the lookout, because it causes volatility. A lot more volatility than normal or any other red folder news events. So you got non-farm payrolls to look out for, and interest rate decisions. Those usually really move the market. Around the same time, just 15 minutes later, for the US dollar, we have jobless claims and initial jobless claims, which are also high impact news. And so Thursday is going to be a day that I'm really expecting liquidity to get taken out. If there's any highs or lows that are created in between now and then, I'll be expecting those to get attacked. If we're headed in a certain direction, that's where I'll be expecting the move to happen. And if we can get in early in the week and already be in position to maybe hold a trade for a couple of days leading up to this interest rate decision, we could possibly end up on the right side of the trade, because what I'm looking at as far as EU, where price is currently at, I see it going in a direction which we'll go over. But if this interest rate decision pushes EU in the direction I believe is going to, I believe there's an opportunity to get in early and catch a nice amount of pips during this interest rate decision on Thursday. All right, so it's Tuesday. We'll be headed into Wednesday. Not a lot going on Wednesday as far as news goes. There's only an inflation rate for the pound, and then we have a little something for the Australian dollar, which is going to be later in the evening. So, and then Friday, we just have a lot of retail sales for the pound, consumer confidence for euro. I wouldn't too much worry about that. And then we have new home sales. Friday is not looking very eventful. Like I said, the highlight this week is going to be on Thursday with that EU interest rate decision. All right, now let's go ahead and get into the charts. The first thing that we're going to look at is the dollar, as always. First thing we're going to look at is the dollar, since everything that I trade is connected to the dollar. Let's review. So let's head to the higher time frame and see what's going on from the higher time frame. So as you guys can see, the dollar has been in an uptrend long term or from the higher time frame. And I believe we're starting to continue up and continue this uptrend based on where price is at now. We were in this channel. We've been in this channel since June of 2026. It's been respecting the channel, right? Going up and down. We broke out a little bit here, came back up in it, and it's just really been respecting the channel. And for the first time since this channel has started, there's been a high created, a higher low, and a higher high. All right, that hasn't happened since this channel got created. Like, there's nowhere where it broke out and actually created a clear high and higher low above the channel. All right, so for me, this is just one small indication of a shift in direction. Because we've been downtrending in this channel, like I said, since June. And this is the first time that it's broken out of the channel, created a high, created a higher low and a higher high. And we've happened to come back up into a zone or a consolidation zone, a previous consolidation zone. And we're kind of at the bottom of that consolidation zone. So I believe that the dollar is setting up for a buy, and potentially this interest rate decision from EU could drive the dollar even higher. But if it was to come lower, it's two levels or two areas that we want to pay attention to. So as far as buying goes, this is where I would like to see EU come down to and take off from. This is an ideal level. This is around the area where we created the high and the higher low. And so I believe this is going to be a sensitive area. And if it revisits, more than likely we'll get a reaction, if not a continuation, at least a reaction from this zone. But we also, because of the low that was created and because they like to sweep liquidity, we have to take into consideration that low, and that could be a potential target for them to come for before they take off, if they are going to continue bullish. All right, so I would not be surprised if this buy zone failed, right? I mean, anything could happen. The buy zone could fail, and if it fails, the next target is going to be this low and the top of this channel. All right, so there's a possibility that the dollar could come back, sweep this low, and retest the top of the descending channel that it created. All right, but what I'm checking for, what I'm looking for are these two zones. This buy zone, and then we'll just say, we'll put a buy zone down here as well. Okay, now as far as sales go, I would not be looking for another sell opportunity on the dollar, which would be a buy opportunity on EU, until we get back to the top of the zone. All right, if it comes to the top of this zone, rejects and creates lower highs and lower lows on the 15-minute, on the the 5-minute, then I would be looking to take advantage of an opportunity on a sale. But until that happens, I won't be looking for the dollar to sell off. I'm currently looking for it to come down into this buy zone and take off, or this buy zone. So with that being said, Um, I do believe the dollar is selling right now, which means there's more than likely a buying opportunity on EU happening right now. There's going to be a little opportunity to buy EU if the dollar is going to sell and come down into the buy zone or the bottom of this consolidation. All right. Okay, and so we're already creating, right? We had a pullback here, pushed above the high again, came into a sell zone, and now we're starting to sell off. And so we have liquidity resting below here. And then we also have this low to pay attention to. And so I'm going to be looking for a buying scenario on GU and EU. So let's look at EU first. All right, and it looks like the buy is, like I said, is already happening. See, we started to creep up, and this is based on timing. We're in the Tokyo session right now, and the Tokyo session goes into the London. And so if buying is going to happen, I believe this is the beginning of the move, and I believe London will actually push Euro up into the sale. I believe the London is going to push Euro up into the sale. So with that being said, let's go ahead and pan out. Let's pull out our fib because we've been trending. All right, so from the high to the low, you see that the pullback here came back to the 50%, extended lower. And so we're going to pull from the high to the low. And where does the 50% rest at? Right up in that mitigation zone. All right, so we have 50% of the fib of this extension that happened today. And that 50% is sitting right in the mitigation zone. And so it's very possible that EU could sell off from here. That would be my first target, right? That would be my first target. But as always, we always want to consider highs and lows that could be swept. And so I'm looking at this high, and I have to take into consideration this as a sell zone as well. And these are the buys and the sells that I prefer to take over anything else. I like to see sweeps happen because sweeps are manipulation, and once manipulation happens, what usually follows after that is the actual move or the actual direction that they want to go. So I'll be looking at this area for a sell zone. I also like that there was a previous market gap here, which means more than not, this is going to be a sensitive area. So we have a market open gap in the same area as a sell zone that happens to be sitting above a high. Okay, so let's see what we have on the 15-minute. See some more structure. Let's put the fib on it one more time. Here we have that 50%. And then even possibly the 618. All right, so first sell zone within the mitigation zone going to be here, right at that 50%. And then, of course, we have the golden pocket in between 70 and 79%. So we're going to mark that up as well. I like how that's also sitting above a high. All right, there we go. And then let's drop even lower and see what's going on. What's going on with price action right now? Create this range. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if price dipped back down into this consolidation or even below it, and then push back up. If that happens, if we come back down below these lows and then come back up towards these sell zones, then I will have to put a pause or reevaluate what I'm doing or reevaluate what price is doing, because anytime a sweep happens, then the direction that it goes after the sweep, it's like a lot of momentum, and it's a possibility that it could just break through that first sell zone. And so if we come up to the sell zone first without going below these lows, then I will make my first attempt on this sell zone. Second attempt is going to be the second sell zone. And what I'll do is I'll have 2 positions in. And then the third attempt, I'm pretty sure my stop losses will be up here for the first positions. My last attempt to sell will be above this high in the third sell zone. Right. So that's what I'm looking at for EU. I was gonna buy up to the sell zone, but I'm gonna go ahead and be patient and just wait for it to come up to the sell zone and just take those trades. Got to throw out there that trading does involve risk, and past results do not guarantee future profits. And I am not a financial advisor. This is what I'm going to do. You can look at it and make your own analysis and pair it up with your own and maybe get some insight from it. But this is what I have planned for EU. Hey, what's going on, Joe? Good to hear from you, man. What's going on, John? Peace and blessings, everybody. Welcome, welcome. All right, now let's go ahead and head over to, well, you know what? Let me, I'm going to start doing this while I'm on the call too, because a lot of times I forget when I get off the call to post this. So let me go ahead and post this in the broadcast so you guys can have some reference. All right, EU analysis. Okay, that is dropped in the chat. All right, now let's head over to GU. So same idea, same thing with GU. I'm actually more comfortable with a buy with GU because of what's going on with the euro versus the pound. Now remember, the euro versus the pound. The euro is the first pair, or I'm sorry, the first currency in this pair, which means that's the direction. So with it going up like this, that means that the euro was strong against the pound, but we came up to a resistance zone, and now the euro is starting to weaken temporarily, right? And so with temporary weakness, we should see temporary strength in the pound. And so I will be, more likely to buy on the pound. But even with the pound, if we look at the pound from a higher time frame, the pound has also been in what's called an ascending channel, right? I mean, this is like we talking about a couple years that it's been in this channel, and it's just recently that we came to the top of the channel back in January, so the beginning of this year, we came to the top of this ascending channel and fell from the top of the ascending channel down to the bottom of the ascending channel. And it took, let me see, January, February, March, April, March. It took about 3 months for that to happen. We rebounded off the bottom, came back to the bottom, and it's kind of just been hanging out, you know, at the bottom of the ascending channel. And we've come back in and we've come back to the bottom. Because of what I see going on with the dollar and what I believe is going to happen with the dollar and EU, I believe we're hanging out at the bottom of this ascending channel, and that GU is going to fall out of this ascending channel. And so I believe GU is going to go bearish as well. This move right here, I think, was a fake out to bait a lot of buyers in. We started to go bullish here, came back up in the channel, retested the bottom, shot up, and then really just sold off and took a lot of those buyers out that thought GU was going to continue up, right? So I'm also leaning towards bearishness on GU. First stop is going to be down here in this buy zone. But as far as where I see it selling from tonight, the first sell zone is going to be right here, which happens to be because I was watching this in the morning, and on the 5-minute, you can see this is where the market was falling. It created this little support, came up, fell down, tried to reach back up for it, and now we've just been consolidating. And on the way down, we created a high here. And so I would like to see that high get taken out, and this would be the first sell zone. The second sell zone is going to be up in this mitigation zone, because GU tends to move. When it does move, it moves long distances. And so if it is going to sell off, this is another one that I see highs getting taken out, highs getting taken out. And so I will be targeting this institutional candle right here. And we have our second sell zone for GU, just resting above a high. If this was going to happen, this would be ideal if it would hold off, you know, until Thursday, until that interest rate decision. And if during that interest rate decision, we come up into that sell zone, or maybe before the interest rate decision, we creep up into the sell zone and then it starts to sell off. I believe that that news release is going to be the fuel to actually move the market a nice distance. So as far as time and price theory is lining up. But this is what I have for GU, and I'm going to go ahead and drop this in the chat as well. Okay. All right. And John, since you want to call out, I'll actually pull up the third floor training chart for GU. So we do a trade training for the third floor every Sunday, and we found this sell position on GU. And John, you see the let's see, See that high got taken out, and they even came up above this high as well. They even poked a little bit up into this high. Well, let me see. Drag it across. Oh, they came right up. They came right up to that and created an equal high. Yeah, but so far, GU has sold off, and I went ahead and took that on my FTMO account, and I took that sell, and I'm still holding a position from up here. It hit it. It was a sniper entry. I entered right, right there. It's about, I think, 70 pips in profit right now. Oh, I'm sorry, not from there. I got in right here, but from the sell zone, that's yeah, from the sell zone that dropped about almost 100 pips total before it rebounded. So that was a nice move. Yeah, it dropped about 114 pips, and it's starting to retrace. So, all right. So that is it for EU and GU. Let's go ahead and see what's going on with cryptocurrency. All right, see, we got a little bullishness going on. Last time I checked, Ripple was at $1.09. Okay. It's creating like a head and shoulders pattern. More than likely for manipulation to be taken out, because I don't see Ripple taking off from here. Not yet. Bitcoin starting to head back up into that consolidation zone. All right, so next major stop is probably going to be around 73,000. I say it hits a wall once it goes up to 73,000 and maybe consolidate somewhere, because I still see Bitcoin coming lower too. Like I tell y'all every week, the discount price for me for Bitcoin is going to be in between 45,000 and 30,000. And let's see what's going on with US oil. As y'all remember, if you remember, I talked about oil probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was probably around here, and it was headed down into this market open gap. And I was telling you guys that I'm targeting that market open gap, and I'm expecting news to line up with that, and that there would be an excuse for oil to start to go up again. And that's exactly what happened. The way everything lined up, the timing, it came down, filled the imbalance, and then news came out that Iran was done negotiating. It's all out war. Peace talks is off the table forever. And voila, higher gas prices that happen to line up with the market open gap that we targeted. So just, it's another example of the market manipulation and how things are really just set up and almost scripted in a way, but not scripted. But I just think it's funny how stuff lines up like that. But yeah, we are now back up in the range that was created for US oil. Our all-time high is $1.19 a barrel. and we're currently at $85. And I wouldn't be surprised if, um, over the next few months, we see U.S. oil reach all-time highs and go even beyond $119. Right, I see it possibly going up to 128. And let me see, is that the all-time high? Might. Okay, no, the all-time high was actually 128. So I see it going back up though. I see it getting back up to those prices. All right, so I don't know what you will do with that information if you trade gas, or if you're just going to use the information to kind of just get ready and prepare for gas prices to go up and everything else to go up along with it. But that is what I see. That is my prediction for the next few months, is gas prices are going to skyrocket. US 30 still doing well. All right, created a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low. But that's never stopped US 30 from continuing bullish. So, we're creating something like a head and shoulders here. Be careful. I wouldn't if I was trading US 30 long term as a swing trader, I would like to see it come back above these levels here before I did any buying, especially with the climate of the world as far as the economy and the war that's going on. I would definitely like to see it, before I place any more buys, I would like to see it come above this high here, and I will be shaving off some profits, because it's a possibility, because of what's going on. I'm over in the Middle East. There's a possibility that the United States stock market could start to sell off. Let's look at SPX. Look at the top 500 companies. Yeah, see, we're in this like consolidation, and it's almost like hit a ceiling. Come up to this price level, dropped, came back up to it, and now we, playing around at this price level. And again, just like what I showed you guys with US oil, the way the charts are starting to form, the patterns that I'm seeing for SPX, which this is the top 500 companies of the United States, what I'm seeing is price slowing down. I'm seeing price exhausted. And that's just from a technical standpoint. But from a fundamental standpoint, looking at what's going on, it's just lining up really good to fall and to start selling off. I mean, the United States stock market is like ridiculously oversold. I mean, overbought. And then gold may be gearing up to go bullish again. All right, y'all. But that wraps it up for this week's Snipeathon update. I hope everybody got value from the call. I hope you all have a good trading week this week. As always, I will see you in the chats. I'll try my best to be more active in the chats this week, keeping you guys updated on what's going on. But again, I love you guys. Thank you for the support. I hope y'all are doing well, and that y'all have a wonderful evening. I will see y'all in the chats and the charts. Remember, becoming a master trader isn't about mastering the markets as much as it is about mastering yourself, and discipline before profits, and faith over everything. Good night, y'all. Shalom.